What's up, guys? Eli here, back for something different today. I decided to start this new series. I've been thinking about it for a while, kind of kicking the idea around. What, what better thing to talk about for me than Seinfeld? I've been watching it since the early '90s, or maybe even late '80s when it first started. It's my all-time favorite show. I rewatch all 9 seasons at least every other year. So I've seen every episode, dozens of times, and I just love it. It's timeless for me. I don't ever get tired of it. And so what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to start a new series called Seinfeld Saturday, where every Saturday, or at least on a Saturday, every Saturday, maybe every other Saturday, I will review a episode of Seinfeld. I'll just go chronologically, start with one, and go all the way until I'm done with season 9. It'll be an easy thing for me to do. That's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I think this is going to be really fun for me to watch, rewatch all the episodes and take notes and kind of dive a little deep, into the lore and into the just everything that went into creating these episodes. And so today, we're going to start with season 1, episode 1, also known as the pilot, titled "The Seinfeld Chronicles," was history in the making and first aired on NBC on July 5th of 1989. As legendary as the show became, NBC execs were unsure about it early on, and test audiences largely, for some reason, reacted pretty negatively. I don't get it. I mean, it isn't my favorite Seinfeld episode, but it's still good, man. So what saved it was that it was watched by somewhere around 11% of American households, which was pretty decent. And critics mostly really loved it and were not impressed with NBC for not approving a full season just based off the quality that they felt of the pilot. One NBC exec named Rick Ludwin talked to the powers that be to sign a 4-episode season 1 contract, the shortest TV series season ever at the time, at least. I don't know if that's still a record. 4 episodes is more than enough for Jerry and Larry David to show what they were capable of, and the rest is history. So, the Seinfeld Chronicles starts off with Jerry in a club doing stand-up, which would be the intro format for future episodes. I can't remember if he did that the whole time, all the way to season 9. But anyways, here we don't have yet the classic Seinfeld music, but it's an instant classic moment in TV history nonetheless. The yet-to-be-created classic Seinfeld logo is instead a pretty basic one, a white bordered box with the Seinfeld Chronicles in white letters. Very basic, but it was a low-budget pilot in 1989, mind you. The episode starts with George and Jerry eating and having coffee at a diner, but it isn't Monk's Cafe, the diner we would all fall in love with over the course of many future episodes. Us fans would almost feel like it was our favorite place to hang out for a cup of coffee, a turkey club, or a bowl of Cheerios. As a fellow bald man, one thing I always noticed was that George had substantially more hair here than he did even on the second and third episodes. I don't know, just something that I noticed. So George and Jerry are talking with each other in your typical Seinfeldian fashion. Jerry is criticizing George's wardrobe choices, which of course irritates George. Jerry then tells George about a woman he briefly met while performing recently who was visiting New York and called up Jerry asking if maybe they can get together while she's there. Now, you will notice that in earlier episodes, Jerry is a little more naive, a little more innocent. Okay, a lot more innocent compared to later episodes. Though he only met the girl once, he has a bit of a crush on her, and I find him kind of very relatable here with how hard it is as a man to try and understand the complex ways that women think. Jerry assumed that this meant that she definitely wanted to see him, but George and even the coffee shop waitress thinks otherwise. If she really wanted to see Jerry, she wouldn't have said maybe. That's 2 against 1, Jerry. Not looking too promising. Jerry feels discouraged, and again, I can relate. Being a single guy in your 30s is tough, man. After coffee, George tags along with Jerry to the laundromat, where Jason Alexander shows off his theatrical acting chops, likely to be a big part of the interest garnered in the pilot. He continues to insist that Jerry won't be seeing this woman, but Jerry isn't yet convinced. It signals, Jerry, it signals! Classic scene. Later that night, more history in the making. Jerry sits down to have a bowl of cereal and watch the Mets game he recorded while he was working. He gets a knock on the door, and in walks, yep, you guessed it, Kramer. Kramer had shorter hair, and he hadn't yet developed his trademark entrance, but he still has some Kramerisms, just a little more subdued. He accidentally spoils the outcome of the Mets game for Jerry, and then proceeds to pull 2 slices of bread out of his robe pockets and asks Jerry if he has any meat. Classic Kramer. Kramer and Jerry discuss the situation with Laura, which is the name of the girl, and Jerry finally admits that he misread the situation when his phone rings, and you guessed it, it's Laura, and she asks Jerry if she can stay at his apartment while she's in town, since all of the hotels are booked up. Jerry, of course, approves. The next day, George helps Jerry move in a mattress for Laura to sleep on, while George and Kramer are convinced that she probably just intends to sleep with Jerry, but Jerry doesn't want to, assume that. Another thing I can relate with here. Over the 9 seasons, George has had many jobs, but here he's a real estate agent, which serves a purpose for episode 2 when we get to it. Kramer also has a dog, which you never saw again. Jerry's apartment set is also a little bit different. Moving forward, George and Jerry pick up Laura from the airport. Laura and Jerry go back to his place. She sits on the couch, takes off her shoes, dims the lights a bit, and asks Jerry if he has any wine. This, of course, excites him. They make plans for the next day as Jerry pours the wine. He tells her he's glad she's there as the phone rings. Jerry's completely blindsided that the caller is Laura's fiancé. Jerry is less than impressed. And that's the Seinfeld pilot. Is it one of the best episodes of the series? No. But does it show a ton of promise? Fuck yeah. I'm going to go ahead and give this episode a 7.5 out of 10. Now, I should probably mention that I'm only going to be I'm going to give a number ranking to all the episodes, but I'm going to basically rank them against each other. So a 7.5 in the Seinfeld world is pretty low. Honestly, this might be my least favorite episode of the entire series, but it's still really good, and it's still completely watchable and completely rewatchable. So everything else, I guarantee you, probably won't dip below an 8. But, with the exception of maybe an episode or 2. But, overall, I do really think this complete series is just flawless. Stands the test of time and then some. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you made it to the end, and see you in the next one for season 2. Cheers. Talk soon.